Hey, what's up, Trash Talkers? What's up, Gruntworks Nation? Here we are with your first Wednesday of the month, how to get rich class with real estate. That's not really what it is, but that's what we're going to say. But before we start, all right, I just have to let you know that I coach a fifth and sixth grade basketball team. All right, and that's what I was doing today. And I'll tell you what, I played knockout or lightning, whatever you want to call the game, and I went 3-0. All right, that's all I'm saying. Okay, they couldn't stop me. So whenever the Big Earl says that he's got something that can't lose, all right, just like my basketball skills against fifth graders, I can't lose. All right, I dominated them. They didn't even get shots off, man. It was crazy. But anyways, thanks for coming by. Again, last month we covered debt to income ratio, and we just answered some questions. Now, again, please ask your questions. Put your rumors out there that you heard when our producer Muffin Fingers back there tested the live. There was already a comment saying you can only use your VA loan for one house, right? And then you can, once you sell it, you can use it again. Well, again, that's something that we're trying to make sure you understand was wrong. Okay. Like I bought two houses on the same VA loan, and that's what we're going to talk about. And also we'll hit back into it like we did last month about how you can free yourself up out of it, which I'm in the process of doing with Zach Farkas right now with the Veterans Mortgage Source. So Zach Farkas in his Aloha shirt, all right, at the Honolulu airport. Okay. He is there and he is joining us from his vehicle, his Toyota Tacoma. Big shout out to Toyota. Hey, Toyota, sponsor us. But Zach, welcome to the show. And again, guys, if you have questions, go ahead and put them in the thread and we'll answer them for you. I put his website on the Veteran Trash Talk one, which is Zach Farkas at vmsloans.com. Now, remember, we can't go into detail into too many things with one individual person. So we will help you out. But at some point in time, we're going to say, hey, email Zach at that email address, and then he will get back to you. So again, thanks for joining. Veteran suicide is our main mission. Okay. Our second mission is to have a blast, have a good time while we try to create a community that supports itself internally. And part of, being a more productive person, it's a lot easier to be productive when you're not worried about financial problems. Right. And real estate and the correct loan can help alleviate a lot of that. All right. So that's something that we're doing with this. Now, the business side of it, people want to make money. All right. And that's fine. That's the world. Okay. But we are trying to give you guys free information and the information that we can and help you guys out. So Zach, welcome to the show. And again, please, if you guys have any questions, please put them in the thread. Otherwise, Zach is going to go into whatever he wants to go into. And remember, Zach Farkas was a captain, so he's smarter than everybody. All right, what do you got, Zach?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Nick, and Veteran Trash Talk, and Chris. I appreciate it. So, actually, this time it's interesting that we got that question or that comment there in the beginning, because we're going to talk about using your VA loan multiple times. So I'll just kind of talk through what I did, kind of as an example, because I like, actions speak louder than words. And then we'll kind of get into the technicals of different ways to use your VA loan multiple times. So I PCS to Oahu in 2014. I was in escrow in 5 days. I got my first house in Eva Beach. I bought it for $480,000. I just listed it for $785,000 and got an offer for $800,000. But I lived in it for a year. I was a single lieutenant, so I house hacked. I rented out 2 other rooms to other lieutenants. I was paying $600 a month and getting whatever in BAH. It was great. And then about, the Oahu appreciation is one of the best in the country historically. So in about 2 years, I'd put no money down. In about 2 years, I had 20% equity. So that meant that I could qualify for a conventional mortgage product with no mortgage insurance. So I refinanced it conventional. I went out, I bought a place in Waikiki. I bought that place my VA home loan benefit. I lived in it for a year, and then I moved out. I just went and rented some nice condo in town. And then I actually used that as an Airbnb. So that was still under the VA loan, and I was Airbnb-ing it. So kind of one of the first misconceptions is you can't rent out on the VA loan. Yes, you can. You just have to intend to occupy it for a year, within 60 days and for a year. the key word there is intend. So if your neighbors are jerks, or if you got, planes flying overhead, or you don't feel safe or something like that, you can absolutely move out. I would just recommend documenting it. Okay. So just, if you're having trouble sleeping because somebody in your neighborhood throws a party overnight, just go to your PA, be like, hey, I'm having trouble sleeping. They're going to be like, why? And you're like, well, my people are throwing parties. PA's like, why are you here? At least you have some sort of documentation. Go ahead and move out, and you can rent it out. So I kind of left that on my VA loan for a little bit. And then I found my third place, which was a triplex. And then the triplex was actually worth $2.2 million. But the really cool thing with what happened in 2020 is they removed the county loan limit. So you can buy whatever you income qualify for. But they also added a clause. If you had 1 year of landlord experience, you can use proposed rental income to qualify for a property. So I was able to use rental income from 2 of those units to qualify for that home. And I closed on that right before COVID. Now we've seen 20% appreciation, and the prices are just crazy. So that was a really good purchase. But when I was buying that house, I refinanced in the process, I refinanced the condo conventional to free up my VA entitlement. Now that is one way, and that's my personal example of how you use the VA loan multiple times, is refinance out of it. And that's what Nick's doing right now. However, there is another way to use it multiple times. And there's actually 2 other ways to use it multiple times. If you have a VA loan and you pay that loan off, or it's paid in full, right? So you could sell it. You're going to refresh your whole entitlement. But you can have 2, 3, 4 VA loans out on your entitlement, okay? So every county loan limit, or every county is going to have a loan limit for second tier entitlement. Now, it used to be first tier entitlement before 2020. Now it's on second tier entitlement. So let's say your county loan limit is $500,000 and you buy a $250,000 house. Guess what? It's not exact math. There's some weird algorithm, but you have $250,000 left for your second tier entitlement. Okay. Let's say you have a small number left over, $50,000. You want to buy a $100,000 house. You can still use the remainder of your VA entitlement. You just need 25% of the difference. So, man, I had this thing on. Shoot, I had it on. Nobody called, but somebody called. I don't know what the heck happened.
You're just gonna have to get over it.
Yep. Sorry. So you can have like 50,000 remaining on your entitlement, and you buy a $100,000 place. You need 25% of the difference, right? So 25% of 50,000 is whatever that number is, $12,500 down payment. So your entitlement, once again, you can refresh it. You can have 2 homes, 3 homes, 4 loans. That depends on the county you're in, your loan limit, and then your remaining entitlement. And the easiest way to find out your remaining entitlement would just be to give me or my team a shout, and it takes us about 2 seconds to pull that from the VA system. We can also.
Let me interrupt you for a second and say it for the dumb infantry guys like me, because one of the ways the banks they don't lie to you, all right, but they don't tell you the whole truth like you're saying now. So the banks want you to be in that traditional 1950s mode where you buy a house and you stay in that house for like 60 years. Right. Yeah. And that they get all of that interest, as opposed to what my story, and just kind of learning from people who did it, now learning from you as well, is you get a house in the military using your VA loan, you get out, you move, you PCS, well, have somebody rent it. Right. And then now that person is paying all your payments for you. And then in 15 or 20 years, the house is paid off and you didn't pay a dime out of your own money. Right. So again, in the simple infantryman's terms, right, use your VA loan. Once you qualify to get out of the VA loan, get out of it and then use it again. And then if you want to use it again, you still got more money. All right. Just because you used it once doesn't mean you can't buy another house with it. Right. So life happens. And I think the tax clause is 10 years, that if you lived in that house and PCS'd and within 10 years, then you don't have to pay any taxes on whatever you earn from selling the house because of the yes clause, right?
Yeah. So the capital gains exemption, I think it's the tax code's 131. I'm not an accountant, don't quote me, but if you've lived in a property for 2 out of 5 years, you're exempt from capital gains. That means that if you bought the house for 400, you're selling it for 500, right? If you're single and it hasn't increased more than 250,000, you would be exempt from paying capital gains. If you're active duty military, because you PCS so much, now you have this capital gains exemption for 2 out of 10 years. So that means you can buy a place in Georgia, live in it for however long you want to, at a minimum year, intend to live in it for a year, rent it out for 9 years. And on that 9th year, especially like if right now is your 9th year because the market's so hot, probably a good time to sell and kind of get that back and not pay any taxes on it. So that's a huge tax advantage because, everybody pays a lot of taxes already. So it's just a great way to get out of paying taxes if you're active duty. But I might have been a little technical with the examples there, but there's 3 ways to use your VA loan multiple times. And the bottom line of that is just call me or my team or email us. We'll call you. We do have to talk over the phone because we do need your social security number to pull your remaining entitlement, but we can let you know what you qualify for in any county in the country if you're planning on moving or whatever you're planning on doing.
Yeah, Kevin on the thread says I've done it 4 times. Kevin, if you want to, get on more with that about like, did you ever refinance your house out of the VA loan? Because those are the things that we're kind of talking about. And here's again where we explain our mission and we explain what we're doing. Veterans Mortgage Source has sponsored us, right? So obviously we're doing this, and just to be transparent, them and a few of our other sponsors like 10th Mountain Bourbon, formerly Barrage Coffee, and you got Happy Place Hemp and Elevated Hemp Solutions. They also believe in our mission, right? And so they also saw an angle to where they can help. All right. And in the great country of America, right, we can make money while helping people. All right. So that's what we're doing here. We are trying to give you the financial advice and how to use the VA loan, how to get ahead of the real estate game, which, if anybody actually understands wealth in America, unless you're like Elon Musk and you create like a brain chip for your brain, like it's property. Like the people who own all the property are the ones that have all the wealth, right? So it's not impossible. Nobody's asking you to be a trillionaire, but it's not impossible to live comfortably because of property. That's literally, it's actually what we're trying to explain is actually pretty easy to do, but people get scared by the banks. We got Trevor Schultz. Can it be used for a business purchase?
So your VA loan has to be for your primary residence. There is a clause in there. You can buy a quadplex if you qualify for that. 25% of your quadplex, we'd call that kind of like a flex home, can be zoned commercial. So if you were able to find a quadplex and, maybe the 3 upstairs units are apartments, and then there's 1 downstairs unit that's a store, you can go ahead and you can buy that. If you're trying to get like a business loan or something like that, there's actually a lot of great resources for veteran business loans. I actually have it in my email, which I don't have access to at the moment, but there's I think it's either Navy Fed or Penn Fed. I'll have to look it up, and I can, if that person wants to reach out to me, I can send it to them, but they'll fund business loans for veterans up to $1 million. That would be kind of a separate thing, but you can do that quadplex with 25% zone commercial, which would be the only way to use a VA loan for that.
Nice. So, hey, Trevor, like I said, go to Zach Farkas at vmsloans.com and, go ahead and pose that question again to him. And who knows, maybe you're in an area. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, the other thing too is, Trevor, depending on your idea and stuff, I have access to kind of some people that are doing some angel investing that are also veterans. So you might be able to get, a partner rather than borrow money or whatever, if your idea is, going to work. So, but I can send some resources over about business loans.
All right. He said, interesting. Thanks. So I'll send him your email address again.
Yeah. Zach. And then there's a period between the Farkas. Zach.
Oh, is there? Zach.Farkas? Gosh darn it.
Yeah.
All
I don't think that matters though. I think it still goes the same thing.
At VMS. Yeah.
Oh, well.
There he goes. Sorry, Trevor, I put the dot in there that time. So it's Zach.Farkas at VALoans.com. Hey, those of you just came on, we're not going to talk too much longer because, again, this is more of a, we're doing this just that, hey, the information's there. And the veteran trash talk community, this is what we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to accomplish having the answer for you. Not necessarily me, not necessarily Zach, all right? Not necessarily Chris or Dave, the face man, or Trigger Joe. It's that there's so many people there that if you have a question, someone's going to answer it. And through networking and sponsorship, Zach has sponsored us, and we have him on here to answer your loan questions or your VA questions. So again, unless people have more questions, it is use your VA loan, use it twice, and then get out of them. And I'm doing it right now. So if you guys think it's a joke or whatever, I'm literally will have a full VA entitlement in about a month. So what do I do with that, Zach? If I have a full VA entitlement and I'm living in Texas and what do I do with it? What would you say?
Well, I would recommend I would get an escrow quick and get a house, because I mean the rates are the Fed just announced today they're gonna start their tapering plan, which means they're gonna buy less mortgage-backed securities, which means rates are gonna go up. So I would try and take advantage of low rates, because although houses have gone up a lot this year, it's gonna suck to buy a high-priced house at a high interest rate. I'd rather have a high-priced house at a low interest rate. So yeah, I'd recommend using it again. Depending on your intention, if it's your forever home, push that county loan limit. If not, buy something in an area that you think is going to rent strong, live in it for a year, and then, do it, by all means, do it again. So yeah, I got one of my realtors I work with, he's used his VA loan at every duty station he went to. He bought when he got there, refinanced conventional when he left, and bought it as a new one. So you can totally have rental properties outside every military base, that you PCS to, and over a 20-year career accumulate 5, 6, 7 rental properties and be sitting really pretty for retirement.
Yeah. So Rob came on late here. Rob Balan, he says, how do you get out of your VA loan? So you probably missed that part of it. So again, yeah. Rob, he'll explain it here, but again, email him just in case you miss it or you did miss it. But yeah, how do you get out of your VA loan?
Yep. So there's two
I'm doing it right now.
Yep. 3 ways to do it, Rob. Refinance into a conventional loan product. Okay. Sell your home to free up your VA entitlement. Pay off the loan to free up your VA entitlement. So those are your 3 options: refinance, sell, or pay it off.
Right. So once my VA loan settles, then once we do this refinance and I have a full entitlement, then buy another house and rent the one I live in now out, right?
Yeah, that's my recommendation. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's probably what I was thinking about doing anyways, that or buying some Shiba. But we'll do whatever you gotta do.
Yeah. Either way.
So yeah, well, I guess we could small talk for a second. Maybe about 5, 6 more minutes to see if anybody has any more questions. Again, you're watching on Gruntworks. Hey, Chris, any questions on Gruntworks? Or are they pretty quiet? Yeah. Okay. So again, a lot of people are confirming what Zach's telling you, but with money, everybody gets scared. All right. And then there's the saying that, scared money doesn't make any money. All right. So if you ever been to a casino and you got on a heater and you only won $100, well, you weren't betting very much money then, were you? And, but we're not telling you to bet. Okay. Yeah. It's a lot different. We are telling you to build wealth. All right. It's nice to have 40, 50,000 in cash, but it's a lot nicer to have 3 to 4 million in property too. And a lot of people right now are struggling, probably don't even realize that they can get out of their loan, probably even get a lower payment, probably rent their house out and move to another one. Right. And then here, that's another idea too, because you never really, correct me if I'm wrong, Zach, but for layman's terms, you never really want to sell your house before you've gotten escrow on another one, right?
Yeah, I mean,
or
yeah,
rent it, or rent it out, one or the
right.
other.
Yeah, you want to have the baton passed, of that payment before you start to make moves or have a plan for that, because you don't want to be stuck doing two things. So yeah, I would, I mean, there's a lot of things you can do if you are going to sell and kind of take advantage of the current market. You can do a seller lease back where you rent back your house till you settle on the new one. And then, yeah, that's like the most common, because I have a lot of people right now that are kind of cashing in and buying again here on Oahu. So we kind of tell the seller, like, or the buyer, hey, like, the seller's going to do a 15 to 20, a 30-day lease back just in case something happens with their escrow and they're not able to close. So you can write, when you're selling, you can write your terms in your purchase contract, of how you want to sell it. So, okay. I have a beach house that I'm selling. That is my terms are, my tenant stays for, 30 days after closing to allow her the time to leave, because she's been great. And then I just got an offer on it, took a VA offer over everything else, help out other veterans. And then, yeah, they're going to keep my tenant for a little bit, and then all should be well. So.
Okay. Yeah. Rob, pay attention. You don't have to pay it off. But yeah. You gotta, to get out of the VA loan, you got to refinance it conventional. Right. Yep. Which means you're giving up your VA entitlement. You're giving up what the VA guarantees on the loan. But if you for sure know you can rent it, right, or afford the refinance payment, then do it. Like, that's the thing. Like, get property and have somebody else pay for it. Like, that's literally the American dream. That's the way us, lower to middle class guys can get out of that. All right, because you're not going to get it living in the same house, working, making $80,000 to $100,000 a year, which is a great life. Mm-hmm. Right, that's a great life, but you're never going to get out of that. That, which is fine. You don't have to, but again, you earned the VA loan, right? Yeah. You as a veteran, you earned it, and you can use it. You can use it to generate wealth for your children, for your grandchildren, all that stuff. So, yeah, let's see here. Any more questions? I don't really see any, but go ahead, Zach, if you got anything to say.
No, yeah. And then I was just going to say, Rob, definitely feel free to shoot me an email, or if you're still listening and you have a pen and paper, I'll give you 1 second to get a notebook. But the best way to get a hold of me is just give me a call, 808-861-0586. And then I can kind of talk through like refinance options with you. And then kind of like Nick was saying, I mean, I bought all three of my properties, no money down. If they were all to appraise, if I were to get them all appraised, they'd be right around 4.5 million. And my mortgages, my debt load is about 3 million. So there's about $1.5 million gap there that I invested $0 in, so, sorry, my phone keeps blowing up, but, there's $0 for me invested. Obviously I've made my mortgage payments, but I didn't put any down payment on any of those. So if you look at that return on investment, it's pretty good. There's not
stupid.
Really there's the limit doesn't exist. There's not a percent for, 0% down and then that much, gain. So.
Okay, perfect. Well, I think unless Gruntworks has anything, and hey, thanks for the question, Rob, but make sure you email Zach. Like I said, he's a former grunt too, and I'm a grunt. So a lot of grunts on here trying to figure out how to put the circle peg in the square hole. Like we're figuring it out, we're hammering it down. But use those entitlements the way the word entitlement is supposed to be meant. Right now, everybody gets money for not doing shit. Every veteran that's listening right now, you did a lot more than shit. Okay, we might have burned some of it. If you're a grunt, you definitely burned some of it back in the day. But use it, okay, and use it the right way. And we are here to help you with that. Okay, even if Zach doesn't make a dime off of you, because let's say you live in Minnesota, you got anybody in Minnesota?
I think Corey's licensed in Minnesota.
I was gonna say I picked a state. Pick a state where you don't have a license in.
Wyoming.
Okay, so let's say you live in Wyoming. All right, email Zach anyways. Okay, he'll answer it for you. Why? Because he's not a dickhead. All right, that's one. And then two, he's a veteran. All right, and he's a former, infantry officer. I think he got 7 Ranger tabs, even though he never got to wear one. We covered that in the first show. So, but yeah, he's a grunt, and he's going to help you out. So other than that, thanks for joining us, Gruntworks. And if you're watching this on the record, all right, make sure you go to zach.farkas, all right, at vmsloans.com. All right, so go there, email him, and he's going to probably either handle it himself or he's going to push it off to, somebody who's licensed in that state. Am I correct with that, Zach?
Yep. Yeah. And then I have a lot of national resources, so I'll always do my best to put you in touch with a veteran that I know and trust that can, help you out the best. And then, one closing thing too, make sure you go with it. Like for my lender structure and the people I'm going to put you into, I don't get paid directly from the veteran. I get paid when we sell your loan. So that's another great advantage to different lending structures. So it's very important. If you're in escrow, you're planning on buying, give me a call. If I can't help you, I'll put you in touch with someone that can get you the best rate with the lowest closing costs. That way, you're making the best financial decisions for you and your family.
Yep. And that's what I'm doing, guys. I will literally show you the paperwork when they're done with me, or I'll say like, hey, they're not sponsors anymore because they screwed me, but I thought that's going to happen. So that's just the way it is. So, but yeah, I'll show you the paperwork. I'll show you the numbers when they're done helping me. Zach's team is helping me right now, and I can't wait because I'm going to try to get to that upper middle class level by buying some more property, and I'm looking forward to it. So thanks for coming on, Zach, and sharing your knowledge. And thanks to everybody, especially Rob and a couple of people asking the questions. We will see you guys in a month. Other than that, Friday will be here in 2 days. If you're using the metric system, not quite sure, but in 2 days, all right, Friday will be here. And Trigger Joe and Senate 7 Bill, we hit a lot of fights last weekend. In fact, we hit the main card, which was an underdog, exactly how it was going to end. All right, we picked Glover Teixeira by submission. All right, and that was plus 500, and we nailed that son of a bitch. So and that's exactly what he did. He submitted the guy in the second round. So watch these guys; they're really good. I'm not good at UFC, and my NFL record last week was not good either. I went -2 on my things. But Friday we'll be doing our UFC picks and our NFL picks, and then Saturday the Trash Talk Hour. We got some guests coming up. We'll talk about that on Friday. So we will see you guys then. Zach, thanks for coming. And remember, use your VA loan, get out of it, use it again. See you in a month.
Thanks, Nick.